they come. That's right in the center. Another one, and another one. Look at that. A whole wave of them. The whole skyline's lit up.
Over 100 C-17 Globemasters have crossed into the Middle East in just 8 days. That's not a routine deployment. That's the largest American military buildup in the region since Iraq in 2003. February 28, 2026. Israel and the United States launched coordinated airstrikes across Iran. Killing Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and triggering what would become Operation Epic Fury. Within 12 hours, coalition forces hit nearly 900 targets. By March 10th, that number exceeded 5,000. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth called it twice the firepower of shock and awe.
Unmistakable message about Operation Epic Fury. America is winning, decisively, devastatingly, and without mercy.
Iran responded exactly as expected. Missiles and drones targeted American embassies, military installations, and critical oil infrastructure throughout the Gulf. The Strait of Hormuz became a combat zone. 8 American soldiers were already dead, and that's when the airlift began.
8 American soldiers who have died since the US and Israel began their war on Iran.
Flight tracking websites lit up with data. Call signs RCH-584, RCH-633, RCH-649, RCH-1-819, Moose-53, all headed east. Open-source analysts watched each aircraft cross the eastern Mediterranean, converging on Jordan, Crete, Qatar. Muwafaq Salti Air Base in Jordan became packed with fighters, drones, and transports. Al Udeid in Qatar, already the largest American facility in the Middle East, swelled with personnel and equipment. Here's what makes this different. The C-17 Globemaster isn't just big. It hauls 77 tons of cargo across 6,200 nautical miles without refueling. With aerial refueling, range becomes unlimited. It lands on runways only 3,500 feet long, backs up using thrust reversers, and turns around in spaces that would strand other heavy lifters. You can fit main battle tanks inside, 2 of them side by side, or hundreds of fully equipped troops, or enough precision munitions to sustain weeks of continuous strikes. Each Globemaster that touched down at Al Udeid or Ceuta Bay carried another piece of the operation. Armored vehicles rolled down ramps. Missile systems were offloaded under floodlights. Maintenance crews hauled spare parts for F-15 and F-16 already flying combat sorties. But what exactly were they preparing for? The scale suggests something far beyond retaliation. Sustained air superiority. That's what the buildup points toward. When you maintain strikes on over 5,000 targets in less than 2 weeks, you're not executing a limited response. You're degrading an entire military infrastructure. Command centers, air defense networks, naval facilities, missile production sites. Every target hit creates a logistics problem. Replacing destroyed equipment requires time, money, and supply chains that coalition forces were actively dismantling. Iran's retaliation proved they still had capabilities.
The U.S. military is moving to dismantle Iran's missile production infrastructure. Our incredible B-2 bombers recently dropped dozens of 2,000-pound penetrator bombs on deeply buried missile sites.
But each drone launch, each missile fired, revealed launch sites that immediately became new targets. The cycle was deliberate. Draw out their assets, map the locations, eliminate them systematically. And those C-17s kept coming. 41 heavy lifters in 8 days doesn't maintain current operations. It prepares for escalation. The Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group was already positioned in the region. Destroyers equipped with Aegis missile defense formed a protective screen. Submarines operated beneath the surface. The combination of sea and air power hadn't been concentrated like this since the Iraq invasion. Nobody boarding those transports at stateside bases had return tickets. No rotation schedule, no end date. The Marines loading into C-17s at Camp Lejeune, the soldiers departing from Fort Bragg. They packed for indefinite deployment. When you fill duffel bags without knowing when you'll empty them, the message is clear. This wasn't about punishing Iran for a single retaliatory strike. Operation Epic Fury aimed to fundamentally alter the military balance in the Middle East.
Operation Epic Fury. America is winning, decisively, devastatingly, and without mercy.
The scale, the tempo, the sheer volume of assets flowing into theater, all of it suggested a campaign designed to last months, not weeks. Pilots were flying multiple sorties daily. Maintenance crews worked in shifts around the clock. And above it all, more Globemasters appeared on tracking websites, their transponders marking paths across the Atlantic, over Europe, into the Eastern Mediterranean. The logistics bridge stayed open because the operation demanded it. Those C-17s will keep flying. More equipment, more personnel, more munitions. The infrastructure is already in place. Al Udeid can handle the traffic. Jordan's bases have the capacity. Crete provides the strategic positioning. What started as retaliation for Iranian strikes evolved into something larger the moment that the first wave of Globemasters crossed into theater. Over 5,000 targets struck, 8 American soldiers killed, 1,255 dead in Iran, 17 casualties across Gulf states.
1,255 people who were killed are not military. They are civilians. They're living in their homes or their workplace, and they are injured by the attacks.
Those numbers don't capture the shift happening beneath the surface. Every base expansion, every fighter squadron deployment, every cargo pallet offloaded in the dark changes the calculus. Iran's military infrastructure is being methodically dismantled, while coalition forces entrench themselves deeper into regional positions they won't be abandoning anytime soon. The soldiers stepping off those ramps in Qatar and Jordan are settling into a new reality. No return date means no illusions about quick resolution. The maintenance crews prepping fighters for daily sorties understand the tempo isn't temporary, and those C-17 pilots making repeated crossings know their flight schedules won't be lightening up. Operation Epic Fury delivered twice the firepower of shock and awe. But shock and awe ended. This buildup shows no signs of slowing. That's what over 100 heavy lifters in 8 days actually means. Not an operation, a transformation.